my swim time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swim time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my swim time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swim time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. Hyped to announce tonight's guest. We welcome Dan from Hot Tag Foundation. Dude, are you good?
So well, so happy. I've heard such good things about what you guys are doing at Work the Left Side, and I've had great influence I've been dying to be on this, for so long. So appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much. Decided to get into it.
Oh, dude, awesome. Well, thank you for the kind words, because I know you've kind of been networking a lot recently. So, it's always nice just to be heard of and people know what we're doing as well, kind of thing. So, but flipping it over, that's why, I wanted to do this episode. I want to talk to you. So, as I said, you've been on numerous podcasts, so, the message is getting out there. But it's just, so people can hear, the good work you're doing. Again, we talked about it off camera. I know what people are like. I know what the internet wrestling community is like, kind of thing. Sometimes it's too good to be true, or something like this. It's like, no, this is genuine. They're doing good stuff. So yeah, just let us know what it is that you're doing, and what's the goal, kind of thing.
So there's no real end goal to what we're trying to do, because that's the beauty of what we're trying to do. Our mission statement, you'll find it all over our socials and our website. The beautiful thing about our mission statement is that it's got such the possibility to evolve and to change, and that's what we love about it. So we can start focusing our inaugural year on young people and introducing it and empowering them to get involved in wrestling and build the community from a young person's perspective, because that's what we all fans from when we were kids, and and arguably it shaped who we are as people. So we wanted to make sure that was, passed down to this generation and passed down to, passionate fan base that, is so loyal, and so the camaraderie in this community orientated position is unbelievable. So we want to make sure that it is open and accessible to everyone, no matter where you come from, who you are, orientation, anything of that. We want to make sure that it's highlighted well, and we will be, or we're trying to be, a driving force into introducing young people into the world of professional wrestling and making sure that people understand that it is an accessible place to be. So at the minute we are running some cool little ideas around the pot, but we are so determined to make our inaugural year focused on our donation drive, which I'm sure we'll get into later as well. Don't want to jump the gun, but we are so invested in making sure that is as successful as possible, and we get the community support behind us first before we start thinking about the incredible direction we can take it in 2025. So stay tuned, follow all social media, and you'll see some awesome stuff.
That's it. It's just got to build and build and build. It's about building the momentum. It's about getting, like you sort of said, people knowing what you're doing, getting people behind it, getting eyes on the prize, kind of thing. But I love just the mission goal itself, kind of thing. I love the fact of using wrestling in a positive manner, like you sort of said. I've always said, there's been times when I go to a wrestling show and I'm with a group of people. It's awesome. There's other times when I'll go to a show. I used to go to like PCW back in the day. I used to travel to Preston, on my own. And I'll go to a show. But I knew as soon as you got to the show, it was basically like, you're just there with one big family kind of thing. Everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody loves wrestling. It don't matter like your background or anything like that. Nothing else matters except you're a wrestling fan watching a wrestling show. If something cool happens and you turn your head and speak to the person next to you, be like, "Oh, that was awesome." They're like, "Yeah," it's just that general, like, "Oh crap," and you're like, "Wrestling friend." Bosh.
And going off the back of that as well, like I won't tell a lie. My introduction to British wrestling has been very recent. I didn't realize what was out there until I actually reached out there. So, context of the story: I went for my stag do in February. And I wanted to go to, of all places, TNT Extreme Wrestling. And I was like, I know I'm children's charity and all that, but all I wanted to do was see some guy get smashed with a light tube. That's the only thing I ever wanted in life, and I was so happy to finally see it. But yeah, going from that, when we got there, like Jay Apter from TNT met us with such, gracious introduction. Mad Dog Mike Angus wanted to get us involved. Everyone wanted to get us involved, and it was like, we didn't even establish what we were trying to do here. We just came for a stag do and thought, it's gonna be great. Like, we're not the biggest drinkers all of our friendship group anyway. Like, I don't drink, but it was just fun to be there, and like everyone just wanted to come up to us and talk to us, and like, why did you choose here for your stag do? I was like, because it's TNT, it's wrestling, it's something interesting. Like, and we're from like East Yorkshire, so we're the upper side of the map. So we went from this side to this side, and it was just so cool to get there. And then from that, it was like, I wonder what else is out there, because I know TNT was there. Progress is. I followed Progress. I followed like a bit of TNT, etc. But then I jumped out there and I was like, bloody hell, there's one here, and there's two here, there's three here, and there's like, oh my goodness, there was everywhere. And I thought, every man and his dog has got a wrestling promotion these days. And when NXT UK was here, you didn't think that was possible, because all the talent was trying to get to that stage. And arguable that NXT UK kind of partially destroyed the British wrestling scene, but the growth from that, from when it disbanded to now, is unbelievable. It's once you're in it, it's clear to see, and the people are really passionate about it, and you just want to make sure that you're involved in it. And unfortunately, I can't be a professional wrestler because of the certain disabilities that I have. So I wanted to make sure I can give back to this community that was so welcoming to us. And it doesn't matter what age you are, people just want to get you involved and want to make sure you have a good time. So, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of, and the introduction that we've had has been nothing short of spectacular and hospitable.
That's it. Like I sort of said, you can go to any show anywhere in the country, and because you're surrounded by wrestling fans, it's just welcoming kind of thing. But yeah, it's like, it is crazy. I've always said you're never more than 30 minutes away from a good show. You're never more than 15 minutes away from a show. I'd say you're never more than 30 minutes away from a good show. Because there are some, it's not quality everywhere, but people are trying.
I will add as well, it's very similar to, I don't know if you're part, but it's very, very similar to the heavy metal community and metal and rock. Like, people are just so welcoming. Like, I've been in mosh pits for the past 10, 15 years of my life, and funny enough, they say it's the safest place to be because people will protect you, and it's a very similar aesthetic to when you're in a wrestling ring. People just want to protect you, make sure you have a good time, make sure you're all right, and it's just so welcoming, and no matter who you are, where you are, and I can't describe it. I'm speechless. I really am.
I know exactly what you mean, though. Same sort of thing. I grew up in Nottingham. I spent many a night in Rock City. Or that. It was just kind of. It's weird doing it because, like you said, to look at people. It's like recently I've spoken to a lot of people who do deathmatch wrestling. Like your Thorns, Franco Fates, Lou Nixons, Tim Strangers. These are the guys that if I saw walking down the street and I didn't know any better, I'd be like, yeah, I'm crossing over and I'm walking down that side of the street. But you get to know them, you get to talk to them. Hand on heart, 100% nicest human beings I've ever talked to, kind of thing. And again, yeah, it goes. Majority of people that you see, that listen to metal, again, nicest people in the world. It's just nothing to prove. I
will throw a few shout outs there as well. Like Drew Parker, I met him at Rise. He was unbelievably kind to us. Like Big F and Joe. Like I bought this wristband from Big F and Joe, saying wrestling on it from his daughter made, and it's mad to think that guy is going out on a night time, getting bleeding everywhere, and he just goes over to his family like nothing's happened. Like, hiya, don't worry, what's for tea, kind of thing. You think, how do you come out with that mentality? It's incredible, but it doesn't matter what you're part of. You're all part of the same community, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
I was going to shout out Rise to you because you sort of said, you went all the way over to TNT, which well worth it, amazing promotion. But as you said, you're in Yorkshire, so if you ever want to get that light tube fix again, we have got Rise on your doorsteps. So that's always.
I went brilliant show. I went on the 28th of June, Embrace the Chaos, I believe it was, and thanks again. All the talent was so helpful. Like Real Rasslin were there; they helped out a lot. And it was just such a beautiful atmosphere to be a part of. So the more chance we can get to these shows, the better, because people just wanted to listen to us, take a leaflet, and hear what we wanted to say. Like it was beautiful. It wasn't like here's a leaflet, move on kind of thing. It was like here's a leaflet. Tell us what you're about. Tell us what we can do to help. And it was like okay. I wasn't prepared for this. I was expecting to be shut away, but like unbelievable. It really is.
And I think obviously, you know, the social media presence has probably helped with that a lot more recently as well, because people are getting to know you, are getting to see the pictures, are getting to see, you know, obviously on Instagram and things like that. So the blue hoodie's becoming kind of like, okay, I'm gonna, yes, right. Somebody talks to me in a blue hoodie, I'm gonna listen because they're trying to do something good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we associated that with the brand from the offset. Blue, it just meant so much to us. It's such a bright color. It stands out in, you know, in professional wrestling. It stands out in a sea of black because everyone wears black shirts in wrestling. And you know, I'm, despite the orange Cassidy t-shirt that I'm wearing here, you know, everything else seems to be black. So I think it's a, you know, it's positive color. It works with the branding. It works really well, and it was very much from the offset we wanted to go with. So, you know, just the blue hoodies thing was just, you know, we struck gold. One of our guys thought of it, and it just rolled from there. And I think the hardest part was coming up with the name. But coming up with the Hot Tag Foundation name was very difficult because everything we wanted had already been taken, and it was like you want to make sure it's associated with professional wrestling, that people don't really need to know. Oh, people in the wrestling community could look at it and go, "Oh, Hot Tag, it must be something to do with wrestling." It's cool. That's great. And it was something that we could click like that. And then once that came across, the you just got to reach out slogan came up, and you know, it was like a snowball. We just kept going from there. And it was like all of us just sat together on a Zoom call going, "Oh, this is brilliant! Like, how have we not done this before?" And like the logo, and I spent absolutely hours just focusing on branding. Like, that's all I wanted to do was make sure the branding was right. It was, you know, safe to look at, easy to present, and easily identifiable, which is, I think we've hit that target. And the only regret I'm having now is wearing hoodies in 30-degree heat. That's the only, like, every podcast we've been on so far, it's been like we're just sat there going, but we're trying to branch out to t-shirts, but in, you know, as you know, coming from the UK, it's 99% rain. Yeah. 1% sunshine. So, but yeah, thank you for noticing the blue hoodie. I appreciate that. I think, like I say, even putting out the post saying look out for the blue hoodies, people just jumped on board with it. And then Ross, our events guy in Scotland, last minute bought a ticket to Clash at the Castle, and then people were just recognising the blue hoodie, and we don't even establish for about 8 days at that point. And I thought, what, we don't have the hoodies for like 9 days. I was like, how is this happening? Like, it was brilliant. So I think, yeah, the momentum, like you said, like you mentioned earlier, momentum has just been, you know, groundbreaking. And it's been very difficult. We're all very burnt out in what we're trying to do. And we will hand on heart say it, because we are big believers in mental health and stuff. And that's all we wanted to do, was make sure that if we are getting burnt out, we have support around us. And, you know, the support's been unbelievable. So it's all good.
That's it, dude. Yeah, because, you know, it's the age-old sort of thing. You know, you can only be helpful to other people if you're helpful to yourself, kind of thing. You've got to, you know, as a parent, you know, I've got to make sure I'm okay to be okay for my kid, kind of thing. You know, I've got to look after myself to look after them, and the same goes for you, kind of thing. So yeah, you know, don't suffer a burnout, because you won't be any good to anyone. So you know this. But yeah, as you said, the hoodies, yeah, I think 2 weeks out of the year you might get away with a t-shirt. I think the hoodie is a good idea for the rest of the 98% of the time. Yeah. So for that 1 week, get a vest for next year. 1 week.
You should have seen my wife's face when we was on about because we had somehow miraculously won tickets to All In through Hooked on Wrestling. And she was like, "You're gonna wear the hoodie, aren't you?" I was like, "Yep." Don't matter what degrees it is, you wear that hoodie. So, but she's been absolutely so supportive of what we're trying to do. Like, to be fair, I do have a little bit of resentment against my wife, because in the past, it baffles me. The past 4 years that she's been a wrestling fan, she's been to SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and All In. And as a kid, I would have done some bad stuff to get to those events as a kid. And I think we're so lucky now that we have so much access to it. And it's everywhere. Like I say, it's everywhere now. It's on every night of the week on majority accessible TV. There's subscriptions to Progress, TNT, all this kind of stuff that you can, you know, access on your iPad or your phone, and it's in the palm of your hand these days. And I would have loved that as a kid. I would have loved that. Like, I was reading dirt sheets as a kid. I was waiting for the updates on WWE.com or what was out there. You know, it's like I'll tell the story of like my introduction to wrestling started in 2008, and I was a big Jeff Hardy fan when it came about. That was the year of Jeff. I loved it. I was in my element. I remember building all the way up to Armageddon 2008 and waiting for Jeff Hardy to win that title. And I remember going to school and going, I don't have access. I don't have Sky. I can't watch it. Someone tell me the results. And I get there and they go, oh, Edge won. Edge retained. And I was like, oh, you're joking. You're joking. I was fuming. I got home. And then my dad downloaded it. I won't really reveal any names. Downloaded it. And I remember sat there going, oh, this is it. This is the way he wins. And then that 3 count hit, that moment just solidified my love for pro wrestling. And it was, it was a magical moment. And that's what I want to give back. I want to make sure people have access to that and those moments. And I think now, more than ever, you've got access to those moments so often. And in local communities as well, like role models such as like Luke Jacobs been Progress's new champion. He's going to shoot for the stars, that kid. Unbelievable talent. Rob Drake, Lana Austin, Liam Slater, Nathan Black, all these great guys that are out there. And, may play a heel, but they have the same goal. They want to make sure that they're giving back to something that they love, whilst also, shooting for the stars, which is, quite prominent in what they're doing. Like I say, I've got off on a tangent. I hope that was a bit of context into. We want to make sure that we are completely transparent as volunteers, as an organisation. You can ask us whatever you want. We don't hide away from anything, and we are making sure that everyone can feel free to ask those questions freely, and we'll give you a good answer instead of we're working on this kind of thing. I want to make sure it's all right. No, we'll tell you straight. We are straight people. We want to make sure that that we are straight people. We are trying to show you that we are trustworthy. We have a foundation. We have supporters, which is incredible, and we want to make sure we can build on that, keep the momentum going.
No, I totally get it, and don't ever apologise for tangents. I said to you before we hit record, dude, the less I have to talk, the happier I am. Nobody watches these for me; they watch them for you guys that come on and talk to me. So, yes, the I said though, like those moments are what kind of connect everybody. They're the ones that you can look back on. Obviously, it's British wrestling for us when we was growing up. We didn't have access to wrestlers personally, or as often as we had to watch them on TV, kind of thing. They were our role models through the screen. But he sort of said there's that many sort of wrestling promotions now. There's that many shows close by. If families and kids can go to the local shows, they're seeing these larger than life characters in person, not through a screen, and they can sort of like if they just latch on to like one person and think that person's awesome. I mean. I know you haven't been to True Grit yet, but I don't know if you've seen it on the socials, if you follow it or anything. There's a guy who goes to True Grit. He's got 2 amazing kids. His name's Paul, and they love Wes. They love Inserico. They are just massive, massive fans of Inserico. And that's it. He's like their role model, and that's who they look up to him, kind of thing. And I just think that's awesome. They just have that on your doorstep to be able to go to a show and see your role model every month.
See, that's one of our biggest challenges right now, and I'll give a shout out as well to another positive role model, Commander Sterling. I met Idol, brilliant personality, love him to pieces. But going off from that, it's there's more about this changing, getting into empowering young people to get involved in it. We're trying to change the culture for adults to also, because kids can't get there without adults most of the time. You start off young. Like I remember begging my parents to take me. And my mum was like, I'm not going to watch that. It's ridiculous. And it's trying to change the culture of it's do not look at this as a sport. Look at this as theatre production, a beautiful artwork of choreography, and all these talented people are out there risking, their careers and their livelihoods to put on a show for you. And it's like trying to change that culture has been very difficult. When we went to NGW, which is our home base of Hull, when we went to that, the amount of people we spoke to, some people were like, I'm not interested. And some people who were wrestling fans were very interested. And it's like, you could see the divide. And these kids were just, so excited to see like Nathan Cruz, Ace Matthews, Vucic, Miles Kamen, all these great talent. And the parents, would just way out of it. They were just here for the kids. And you think, get them involved, get them involved. Like when I got my wife involved, it was like, I'll give it a go and see what happens. And then I showed her like Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell. And you see the reactions on the face, and you see it's like even in live events, you see him when they do like moonsaults, and like, fair enough, Adam Maxted is a handsome looking man, and maybe people go over Adam Maxted, but he's an incredibly talented athlete as well, and an incredibly talented wrestler. So when you just getting down to a show is massive, because that introduction to it is crazy. My best friend Connie came to us to TNT, and she'd never watched wrestling in her life. She went to TNT as the first wrestling introduction, and she was sat there going, "Oh, I'm not going to enjoy this, not going to enjoy this." And then she was cheering him on, throwing weapons at him, like we brought weapons, we brought lightsabers and keyboards and stuff, and she was like, give me the chair. I was like, no, you can't take the chair. Like, give me the chair. Like, calm down. Like, just that introduction is so important, and I think we are trying to help people understand the culture and the community around pro wrestling, and not just like guys in the mentality of guys or people in their underwear just fighting around. But it's not that at all. It's art, and it's beautiful to watch, and the pageantry and everything behind it just makes you love it so much more. And I've mentioned TNT a lot, and I will say I did steal a light tube when I left, actually. This is my memory to a great event and a great stag do, so that'll stay in there. But
you get someone to sign it. If they could, as long as try not to smash it, but like, can you try and sign it and not just
Charlotte went over Toomby's head, so I might wait and see if Toomby will sign it for me.
That's awesome. But yeah, that's exactly right, dude. Obviously, I'm saying the kids need to see this, but obviously the parents need to take the kids in the first place. So I'm going to mention, obviously, we talked about it again off camera kind of thing, obviously Toyal Wrestling. The last title show I went to, pause out for summer, I'm certain there was some people there that got tickets, that were donated tickets. It was probably their first wrestling show.
Yeah, that's true.
I presume that was obviously through you guys.
What happened was we reached out to Toyal Wrestling, it's Taj, and it was in our introduction to it. We was dead set on like, we want a Zoom call with you. We want to make sure you know who we are. We want to talk to you, learn your values as well as you learn our values. And she was so hospitable in the whole process. She was like, "This is what I want to help you with. I love the cause. Let's meet up. Come to our show. Let's talk." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Unfortunately, the trains cancelled during going to Huddersfield, which was terrible. But I did get a lift with two guys who will remain nameless to protect the kayfabe of the match they had. It was like, they reached out and was like, "We'll give you this many tickets to try and give away," and that was big for us, because we had no idea what we was doing. And I was thinking, I'm going to go all in on this, so I did like a promo video on Instagram to say, like, we're trying to give away these free tickets to families to introduce them. It's very important that it's a first show. It's not just like people just claiming free tickets. It was like, we want to make sure it's a fair show. So I was like, and then my events representative for Yorkshire, Jonathan, came to us and was like, "Why don't we reach out to community centres in the area in Huddersfield?" Because we knew no one in Huddersfield. We knew absolutely nobody. So I was like, "Okay, that sounds like a good idea." So I reached out to a few. I went down there in person to Huddersfield to try and meet people, try and give tickets away on the street. Like I say, I got a lot of rejection on Huddersfield Street. Like, we reached out to this one community centre. Was like, "Right, we're on a deadline. Let us know if you want them, and we can get some people there." I won't mention who they are, because we haven't posted about it a lot. We didn't post about it. We didn't want it to be like a big thing for us. We wanted to make sure it was focused on people coming to wrestling shows. And we got about 5 or 6 young people. I think 7 in the end came. These young people between the ages of about 16 and 24, I think they came, and that was incredible to see, because they always like sat there like on the phones, like not enjoying it. And then Misery Business came out and started doing like moonsaults and stuff, and it was like, whoa. And it's like, that just showed the importance of how the first show meant a lot to them. And it was like, I remember speaking to him before I left, and I was like, I want to come back and see these people as well. And it was like, they could resonate with some of the characters, which was beautiful. I could see them getting involved in the show, and even creating like TikToks on the phone and stuff. And I thought, what was going on here? Like, I did not expect this, and it was beautiful to watch. So I will finish that with thank you to Toyal Wrestling for the opportunity. We hope we served you well, the best we could. There was supposed to be more people there, but some people didn't turn up. But we did get, even one person there would have been a win for us. And having them enjoy the show was just mind blowing. that early on in our project.
To be fair, it was a good show to be somebody's first show as well. Obviously we're associated, with Tidal. I've got nothing but love, and the shows have gradually been getting better this year. And that show for me was like, obviously, it's the best show they've done so far, kind of thing. So yeah, if that was somebody's first show, like you sort of said, you had Misery Business versus Forbidden Planet. You had Ace versus Vooz for 30 minutes. Nathan Cruz turning up. It was just like Spike Trevette versus Scotty Rourke. Mate, if I wasn't a wrestling fan beforehand, I would be afterwards.
100%, absolutely. And even Spike Trevette's promo after the show, like you could see the passion in his face and how he wanted to, keep building his career. And even at Type Wrestling, you thought. But that was the beauty of it. When I met Taj, she was in it. Like as soon as these guys showed up, it was like, right, this is what I want you to do. This is what we're going to work with. This is the beauty of what we're going to showcase. This to these fans. We're going to make sure that to do this moment. This moment is like the all I could picture it as like a wall of just in her head going like this. But it's so beautiful to see that culminate to that show, and it was so perfect to see. And it was a show full of talent, and so there's a diverse range of talent. And once again, shout out to Commander Sterling. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I can't even. Like once again, I'm speechless because I was like, if someone asked me how was it at Tyler Wrestling, I was like, you've got an hour for me to go through the whole show for you, like there's no way I could fit it on. Yeah,
I think they were sat behind me as well because I know because obviously I was sat there listening. I was kind of excited, and I think I was sat in front of people, and it was their first show based on their conversations, what they were saying. So I was kind of sat there, obviously watching, but kind of earwigging as well. And you could kind of tell as the show went on, their excitement levels went up. They went from barely talking to just being like, yes, reacting to stuff. Loved Livy Grace. There was just, yes, my queen.
I saw that. Yes. Oh my goodness. But
I was like, that's it.
Like I said, they must have resonated with Lizzie Grace's character. And that's brilliant. That's what we wanted to see. And Lizzie Grace is such an incredible athlete. Like I'd never met her before. We spoke previously, like before the show, and then to see her come out and the character work and her personality just shone through, and her ability shone through. So like the resonation from that was so meaningful to us. Really was.
It was awesome. I'm going to mention the Toyal Rumble because it's been in my head since I'm trying to right. Don't forget. Don't mess up the name. I'm going to talk about it now. So okay. I know that I've remembered it. So obviously we talked before I hit record. The Toyal Rumble. Give us the information, the details.
I'll try my best. I'm trying to remember it all off the top of my head because my brain is like constantly moving.
Same as mine, probably. Yeah.
So the Toyal Rumble was an idea that's been rolling in my head for a long time. I did a very similar project a couple of years ago with a different organisation. Very successful at what we did. We donated about 60 boxes locally. Unfortunately, from that Christmas donation drive, we suffered creative difference. That's the only way I could put it. And I was ready to take this national. I was ready to make sure this was everywhere. So once that finished, and then I got to I got married and I finished my degree. And as soon as that hit, I was like, this is the perfect time because I have the time to be able to focus on it and make sure it is as successful as I could envision it. So I rounded up the correct team. I made sure that people understood that if you weren't going to give us 100%, you can't be like as involved as best as we want to be involved. And it was a very difficult process to get everyone involved. But the team that I've assembled, and we'll go over them later after the Toyal Rumble, if you don't mind, because they are very inspiring people. So the Toyal Rumble was something that we kicked about for a while. Laura hated it. She was like, I don't like the name. I was like, I don't care. It's brilliant. I love the name. There's so many great slogans. We can go with it. And then Ross came out with, just time to throw the toys over the top rope. And I was like, we can go with that. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. Keep passing these cool ideas on. That's fine. And then there was so many cool promotional ideas. Like we could have the countdown clock. We could do it as an annual thing like the Royal Rumble is, and once again the snowball just kept rolling. Going into the Toyal Rumble, it was very important that first we established the foundation of what we wanted to do. The foundation was us building community support and making sure that people knew what we wanted to do. People knew who we were, and that people would actively donate to us toys. We don't accept money. We won't accept money right now. It's something that we're looking to in the future when we become a bit more credible, maybe more legal backing, etc. At the minute, we're focused on getting toys, fidget toys, SEM stuff, wrestling merchandise, T-shirts, action figures, pop vinyls, whatever you've got that you don't use anymore. Send it to us. We'll make sure it goes to the right place. Make sure you get that next round of wrestling fans on board with what we're trying to do, etc. I trying to remember all of the rules of the Rumble. Very difficult. The most important rule that I think I will mention is that if you don't feel obligated to donate, if you don't feel like you're in the right situation to donate, please don't try and donate. We would prefer you to donate your time by supporting us and spreading our mission than actually putting yourself in a bad position to try and further what we're trying to do. So remember that throughout the whole thing. Do not make it don't make yourself worse to make us better. We want to make sure we work together. We can do what we can. So moving on from that, going back to the first rule of the Rumble, make sure all your donations go to a secure location, which will be our headquarters at the Real Rasslin facility. They've been amazing to us. They've granted us storage space, security, a logistics operation that makes all of our team safe, and even like business cards, T-shirts, everything they've provided with us at no charge, which is brilliant because once again it's all about the introduction and making sure that people know who we are. And they were so I remember ringing Simon from Real Rasslin. I was like, I've got a really cool idea. He was like, yeah, whatever you want, I'm on board. I was like, okay, no, I'll send you all over, no problem. And then so make sure they all go to that. If you want to donate, actively donate to us, that's fine. Even better than fine. It's amazing. Send it to that location. It'll get logged. It'll get securely put into there. And then when the Christmas drive comes at the end of December, because it runs from August 1st to December 1st, after that time it will be collated into boxes, cleaned up, quarantined, and then we'll make sure it goes. Because the difficult situation that we're in now, and I was very dead set on this, was that wherever we get the most donations from, that's where we're going to give back to their communities. So if it comes from if we get a lot of donations, let's say you split it from 100% wherever your donations, and we get 30% from Liverpool, 30% of Merseyside, 30% from Scotland, 30% from Lancashire, we will make sure they are fed back into that community because they have given us so much. It's not like we'll get loads of stuff from Scotland and then give it to Wales. It's not that kind of thing. We are, if you feed us this incredible support, we want to make sure that we can give it back up there, fuel more people getting to your events, giving them access to those events, and hopefully it'll be a beautiful synergy between us and working promotions. So like I said, I've been waiting for my iPad to update from all these photos. It's been about 2 years since my iPad's update, and I will get the rest of the rules of the Rumble. But like I say, to go back again, it is very important that if you do not feel obligated to donate your time, donate your support. It's so important to us. Donate. Okay, we got the rules. I'll go over them quickly. So, second rule of the Rumble: donations will only be accepted between the times of August 1st and December 1st, with allows time to isolate, sanitize, and pack them in time for those drop-offs. We accept new and used toys, merchandise, stationery, you name it. If you have any queries, message us. We all have access to the Instagram, Facebook. We all have access to that. We'll get back to you as soon as possible, because it can be quite difficult to say, I've got an action figure with no head. Do you want it? No, we don't want no head. That's all. Any items deemed inappropriate or we feel may cause exposure, the exposure may cause a risk to young people, will be either dismissed or returned. The likes of, there's a lot of negativity in wrestling, and we want to make sure that people feel safe when they're getting our donations. So if they get someone from what we'll do is we'll collect donations, and if we get them, we'll Google search them and make sure there's nothing around that would pose a risk to young people. So, and a lot of the time, if you put the name in, it'll come up first, and we'll find it. So we'll make sure that's monitored very well. Luckily, our team is spread out across Lancashire, Yorkshire, and Scotland, so we get a good idea of who's, if certain people are in certain negative areas or have links to certain places. So we've been very good to stay on top of that. We encourage you, when you send the donations, to include a note of why you got into professional wrestling, what it means to you. Maybe donate a figure and say what this figure means to you, like what this person means to you. And then hopefully from that we can assign them to tailored boxes. So say we get a John Cena note about we love John Cena. We'll collate all of our John Cena merchandise into one box, and it'll be there. And we've got one box dedicated to this guy who can create a role model for a young person. So make sure you do that as well. We'll also be actively doing that as well. So it'll give you ideas into, let's say, if we create a Finn Balor style box, we'll say this is, huge overcoming adversity, coming from Ireland. He's come from, some like the independent scenes in Ireland to WWE big star, etc. And we'll make sure it's motivational as possible. We did go over the last one. If you're under financial constraint, please do not donate to us. Donate time. Time is very important to us, and that's all we need. And that's it. Throw your unused toys over the top rope and make sure you reach out for that hot tag, and we'll make sure it gets out there. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
No, dude. They said don't ever apologise. It's fine. Like you sort of said about if you're not able to donate, share a post, comment on a post, tag somebody in a post. Yeah, spread the word. That helps as well, kind of thing. And it don't cost anything, and it doesn't take much time. So that's everybody's doing a little bit. It all helps.
Yeah,
but. Dude, the Rumble, I don't know, obviously you've got like promo posters or ideas, but can you remember the WWF 92 Rumble pay-per-view poster? It's like very iconic where they're all walking down the streets. It's like a comic book style, but back in 1992, the Ric Flair one.
Very, very distantly, yes. Once you create a picture in my mind, yes. Where are you going with it? I'm interested.
Google it. And then just imagine all the wrestlers, that kind of artwork, but everybody wearing blue hoodies.
Oh God! Now, you're gonna make me Google this now. Okay. 92 poster.
1992 Royal Rumble.
Like I say, with the longevity of the Rumble, because we can market it as an annual thing. Like I was very much like, yes, the first annual, because I know that will succeed, and there'll be a second annual, be a third annual. Yeah. Oh, that's. You do know what our budget is, right? Like, we don't have a lot of this in our budget. Absolutely not. But
just draw blue hoodies on everyone. Just MS Paint, bosh.
Great idea. And when we get that legal notice from WWE saying stop using our promotions, that's fine. That's it. We're done.
just fuzz the faces up, so you can't just recognise blue hoodies. Yeah, no, it's only just when you just randomly think of something. I'm like, mate, that poster with everybody wearing blue hoodies would look immense. But you can put your faces on there. I don't know. See if anybody can do it for you as a donation or as a charitable gesture.
You heard it here. Get on board. Get on board now.
I'll put it out there. I'll put the poster. I'll be like, can somebody please put these people's faces on this poster and put everybody in blue hoodies? We'll see if anybody jumps at the chance. So, talking about the team, we talked about people wearing blue hoodies. You mentioned earlier, you wanted to shout them out. Yeah, man, name drop, the rest of the team, what everybody else is doing, because as you said, it's a team effort. You're all doing it together.
I will. So first of all, I'll start from Dalton. So Dalton is our youth ambassador. 14 years old, nearly 15 years old. The biggest Edge fan you'll ever meet in your life. So previously we had what we did with our similar projects where I met Dalton, was introduced to him. At the time, it was during COVID, and he donated all of his wrestling toys and raised money. And he raised about £2,000 for his local hospital by selling his wrestling toys. And, I remember Laura, we reached out to him first, and then Laura was like, right, why are you guys not on Instagram? I was like, because we don't know how to work Instagram. I was like, okay. She got on Instagram, and somehow, magically, we got a Zoom call with Edge to meet Dalton. It was incredible. We finally got to meet Edge, and it was such a beautiful moment to see his face light up, and it was incredible. And then Later in the 2022, when Clash at the Castle came, Edge dropped him a message. Like, they still keep in touch now, and dropped him a message saying, "Oh, we're in Cardiff. Are you guys here?" And then we all met up, and we all got to meet Edge, and it's still, not to take it away from Dalton, but my claim to fame is that I did a 5-second pose with Edge. It is on our channel, so go find it. But Dalton is such a charismatic, happy guy, happy young man. He just wants to be involved in wrestling. And as soon as I approached him to say, we're going to do something similar, he was like, yes, I want to do it. And his family's so supportive. We got all the consent we needed, because his family, we absolutely love his family. We meet them every year for the love of wrestling. And they've been so good to us, and hopefully we are able to return that with what Dalton's been able to do. And he's had access to, he spoke to Rascals Pro Wrestling School Academy a couple of weeks ago, nearly 2 months ago now, but he went there and he just loved it. He was like, I want to do this more, I want to get involved more, but like I said, money constraints are very difficult for us at the minute. But he was such an inspiring young man, and to see him grow in the past 4 years that we've known him, it's been unbelievable. It's been so good to see, and he deserves the world, and we want to make sure we can give him that experience where he can go off and do what he wants to do and make sure he's happy in life, and do something where he can give back. So that's Dalton, amazing young man. Going on, our events representative in Scotland, Ross. Ross he's a trainee pro wrestler at Iron Girders Gym in Scotland, and a couple of years ago he was raising a lot of money for the Samaritans. He went through a whole training regime where he lost weight and then ran the London Half Marathon. Raised a lot of money for Samaritans. He's a very generous guy. And then during our first time when we was doing our project before, he sent the biggest donation we would ever have seen. Like, he was the start of the snowball where we got a donation. It must have been, obviously you can't tell them this, but the box was huge, and it came from Scotland. I remember seeing it. I was like, dude, what have you sent? He was like, I don't know. I just got everything I could get. I went to stores with my aunt and just bought loads of stuff and just sent it. And it was all new stuff. It was all new, like, packaged items. And I thought, who is this guy? And he's like, honestly, he wanted to get involved, and he took a chance on us when nobody else would. And I think from that, like, people were like, oh, they must be legit. They got a lot of donations here. And, fingers crossed, we're hoping for another Ross to show themselves. But we have had some incredible outreach so far, which was exciting to collaborate with a lot of good people. But Ross was, as soon as I mentioned it to him again, he was like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's go right now. And we'd only met each other for the first time at Money in the Bank last year. And because he's come all from Scotland, I come from home. We finally met, and it was a huge moment. We sat with each other and we just, we talked, and it was so beautiful to meet this person that we'd met online through professional wrestling. And it was just such a beautiful moment where we all got to meet Ross, and he was so kind to us, and we hopefully return the favour. The other guy is just my best friends. Jonathan, he was my best man at my wedding. Been a wrestling fan for 20 years. We got into it together. It was the introduction to our friendship, is what pro wrestling was. It was like so he was younger. I was kind of like, the protective friend. I made sure he was looked after, and then I was like, oh, you like wrestling? I don't mind a bit of wrestling. And then we started watching, like, going around to each other's houses, stayed up late to watch pay-per-views. It was brought us together in so many cool memories. And then we finally got that memory at Clash at the Castle in 2022, where it was just like in awe that we was here in Cardiff. So he was happy to get involved. He was so happy to get involved and make sure he's focusing on Yorkshire, which is where we're from. And then moving on, Nathan, another one of my best friends. He was a groomsman at my wedding. He's been a fan since the Attitude Era, and that's another thing as well. I will mention that all of us are from different eras in time. So, like, Nathan's Attitude, Ross's Ruthless Aggression, me and Jonathan are more PG, and then Laura's in the we'll say the Renaissance era, as you will. So, getting all those different aspects and knowledge culminates together and collects together to be able to make sure we can target, hardcore fans as well as new fans and young people as well as the more experienced fans out there. So, but Nathan, great guy, family man, he just wanted to make sure that we could take it to the next level. That's what he's trying to do. It's beautiful to see him. you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my wife Laura, who's just been so supportive, and she brings me back down to life when I'm like on a tangent where, oh, we could do this, and she's like, you need to slow down. I'm like, okay, we slow down. We need to make sure, and just having that person to keep us grounded is just, you know, unbelievable. And she's so good with the administration, and she's our lead trustee. She puts out a lot of our content, and she's just perfect. I just love my wife so much. And then there's me. Dan. I won't go too much into me. You can ask me whatever you want, but I'm a huge Jeff Hardy guy. Always have been, always will be. And like I say, the support that we had before, it got me a lot of good contacts from before. And I was able to keep those friends and those contacts to now, which just helps us make us so successful. And like, I remember getting the rub from the amazing Matt Myers very early on to what we was doing, and me and Matt Myers were we did stuff before, and we've stayed in touch ever since that as well. We meet up every now and again, like, you know, we've bumped into each other at like concerts and you know, in shopping and stuff like that, and we're always like, oh, how are you doing? And then I remember reaching out to a wrestling promotion, and there was like, I remember the words very specifically was like, we spoke to Matt Myers, and I was like, oh, how did it go? And it was like, put it this way, we didn't say good things, we don't have this call. And I was like, what? Like, it's incredible. Like, so it was, you know, I must have done something right before. And I did have a great team behind me before. I did a lot of good work with them, and I just wanted to make sure that I could do it with what I wanted to do. And I think it's, you know, showing really well. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, that we'll still carry on going. But that's our team. You can see more about our team on our Facebook page. All of us, like I say, we're all transparent people. We all have access to the Instagram, to the Facebook. Ask us whatever you want. Organise a Zoom call. Organise a one of these Skype meetings, etc. Happy to see you.
Sorry, did I have a cat? Right, cool. Sorry about that, dude. I've just got the cat decided to get involved. Is a little ginger doofus.
Very interesting.
You mentioned Matt Myers. You know, that's, you know, if anybody had any hesitation or any, you know, restraints, that's, you know, I'm sold. You know, again, it's like one of those things, like you said about that phone call. You know, Matt Myers vouchers for anyone. It's kind of like, you know, that's gold. You know, that's like the golden handshake. It's like, yeah, you know, Matt's one of the top people in the business, in the industry, in the country. So yeah, that's the golden handshake. If you got Matt on your side, you know, like I say, I think a lot more people, I say it just opens doors for you. And again, I don't know how well you know Nathan, but I'm kind of imagining your sort of donation locker secure area being very much like Nathan Cruz's man cave. You know, just toys and things everywhere. You know, just a collection of awesomeness.
Well, this is my man cave that you can see before. You know, this is my this is where Laura's put me to keep me out the way, to keep all my cool wrestling merchandise. But at the minute, like, we haven't got a huge amount of donations because our budget's been going into getting to events. We do have quite a lot of donations that Real Rasslin have given us, and some other people have given us stuff. People have reached out already. It's just like, at the minute, because we're so early into it, it's like, oh, we want to send you this, and it's like you don't know, you've got 3 months to, you know, collect more stuff. Like, you know, save the postage, make sure we can, you know, get all that. Send it in November, and we'll work hard to make sure it's logged and, you know, collected anywhere. And just send more stuff, and you know, the more, like I say, the more you send, the more we give back to the community. So why do you know, build it up and collaborate and collect it more, and we'll give more back, and that's the beautiful thing of it. But people are like, I want to donate now. I'm like, yeah, no problem. That's why we're open so early down here. So hopefully by October, November time, it will be an absolute just box storage unit of, you know, so many wrestling toys and merchandise. And it don't need to be wrestling toys either, like, say, fidget toys, crayons, stationery, you know, so that we can pack these boxes and make sure there's so much. And we just want to make sure that kids have a gift at Christmas. We want to make sure that gift is a professional wrestling.
Dude, that's awesome. Again, I can't emphasize, you know, I've used the word awesome numerous times, because it's awesome. You know, I love shit like this. I think it's just, again, something that just kind of encourages positivity, something that encourages, you know, people just doing nice stuff. And it's like, yes, you know, thank you. And just to rewind as well, when you was on about even coming up with the name, kudos obviously on the name Hot Tag, because that is one of the coolest moments in a wrestling match ever. So you've managed to claim the name, and you've titled, one of the coolest spots in any wrestling match ever. The hot tag it's what all the fans want to see.
Like I say, you've got the tag down right there. You've just got to reach out for that hot tag. And it just makes it makes it so you can be in the metaphor of being like in your worst, and then you've got someone just waiting there to reach out, and I still reach out, tag that hand, and make sure you're in it. And then I wanted to make sure as well, because in wrestling people love a 3-syllable chant. So it's like HTF just sounded great in my head. Going HTF, HTF. I thought it's just everything just fits so perfectly together. I remember just being there, like that was the moment where your head just explodes, the glass shatters, and it's either Stone Cold's going to come out or you've got a great idea. So I think, and I don't remember seeing Stone Cold. So
it must have been a great idea. It's a light bulb moment.
It was.
The light bulb before the glass shattered.
But yeah, and the logo was easy to make as well. Very cartoony. The hands in the middle. It was very much like, oh, we should put fire on it, like a hot tag. I was like, no, do you know how hard that is? The brand. No, I'm not doing that. So like, this is just the simple logo of a ring, and reaching out is so simple, so easy. And I do regret not getting the words here, but they are on the back. So.
That works. That's as long as the hood doesn't cover them. And like I said, just the blue and the white, it works. You put orange in there, you put fire in there, dude. It's just it can become. It might look good, but sometimes simple is just better. It's just it pops. It's easy, and you can do it a lot quicker. So I also want to rewind as well, because you mentioned obviously when you're about in Hull. And he's talking about people, things, and you say people are excited to, see Nathan, and people are excited to see Vuzic, and then you said people are excited to see Ace Matthews.
Oh, come on! Step on Ace.
I'm joking. I kid. I love Ace. Ace is awesome, but I couldn't miss that opportunity just to have a little pun.
It doesn't. The only thing I have against Ace Matthews is that I took the line. I am Ace, and you can be too. That was my first one. I was like, this could be our slogan. No, I'm only kidding. But we, from the offset, we wanted to be Ace. I remember beating Ace for the first time. God forbid, 1PW. I don't think he was even supposed to be there. He was just outside, just in character, handing out flyers, and I was like, who is this dude? And we took pictures of him. And like, is he even a wrestler? Is he just like some crazy man just handing out flyers in a wrestling gear? And everything he just said to him, he just turned around into something really like stupidly positive. And I just fell in love with his character there. And then I saw him more. And funnily enough, like we have like a connection. Like I know someone who he knows, and it's like, and I remember seeing him at Tidal and just learning more about him and the ideas that run through his head. Before the match was just next level professional wrestling. So I will defend, and all of us will defend Ace Matthews to the end. I know Taj and Tyler hate him. I will defend him to the end of the air.
No, I hold my hands up. I am just joshing. I do love Ace. Guy's awesome, and especially after that 30-minute match, how can you not respect the guy? He's even got Vuza's respect, as much as it pained him to say it. So, if he's good by views, he's good by us as well. So, and plus, again, you will get, like, hopefully you get to a True Grit show at some point, and you see him and Wing Commander Nash together. Nash Boat, one of the best tag teams in the country. I can't believe I just said that with a straight face, but you get to see what he's doing with Wing Commander Nash as well. Whole new level of respect.
Yeah, but trying to hit all these Yorkshire events, and like I said to you off camera as well, it's just making sure we're getting to the right events and making sure that we're spending what little money we have wisely, to make sure that we are successful. So our budget will not insist of £300 worth efforts to go to a major promotion down south or in Merseyside or anywhere, or up north or anywhere. It's not that. We will rather spend it to go to 10 shows than to go to one, because there's more chance of getting there. And it's very important that our ethos relies along, if there's 200 people optimistically at a show, and we tap into 10-20% of that audience for donations, you're walking away with 20-40 donations there, and then that's worth it. That's worth the trip, because instead of us spending the money on it, people have come to us with donations, and it's like, this is money well spent, just getting to the show. And there's also the added benefit of, you know, enjoying a wrestling show, which is great. And we've been very lucky to be offered free access to these events, just to promote what we're trying to do. And even that's, you know, scary to think that people have given us that opportunity, and just like Toyal Rasslin give us the opportunity to get there. And we've reached out from like even Wrestle Rave. I don't know if you've heard this new Wrestle Rave that's going around. We dropped them a message like, oh, we love what you're trying to do. How can we help out? And it's like, oh, we love what you're trying to do. Here's 2 free tickets. I was like, what? We didn't even say anything. Like, great guys at Wrestle Rave. Can't wait to hopefully get there eventually. But like I say, London's expensive. If we can get there, we'll try our best. If we can't, and we've got, you know, more things going on at that time, it's more important to get to a family show than it is to get to a rave, respectively, for the non-profit sake. But yeah, so yeah, I've gone off at a tangent again, but yeah, it's just there's a talent around Yorkshire. I will highlight that as well, like you said, True Grit, and then even reaching on the NGW, and then reaching out to Toyal Wrestling as well, and Fight Factory and what have you. We want to make sure we get to all these shows. We just wish people would have afternoon shows. Just put an afternoon show on so we can get there, we can get home safely. Like you get these shows finishing at like 10:30, and I'm like, I can't get home at that time. Like, come on, work with me here. That's why I love Toyal so much. It's like a 2:30 show time or whatever it is, and it's like I'm there. And even by the time I got home from Toyal last time, it was like, by the time I got home from Huddersfield, it was like 10 o'clock nearly, and I was like, it's a long day, like a real long day, and it's a tiring day. You know, even though it's a fun wrestling event, it's work for us. So trying to find the balance of like making sure everyone else is having a good time, and making sure that we make our presence known as well as enjoying the show, being a part of the show, making sure we can start chants, we can clap along, like, and it's just so difficult to make sure we're in there for the right reasons, and we leave with the right perspective of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And also, obviously, the fans in attendance obviously can see, you know, you do what you're trying to do as well, kind of thing. So yeah, it's you've got to be there. You, like I said, you've got to do what you've got to do, but then you also, you know, that people will be like, oh, blue hoodie. So kind of like, yeah, okay. So you say it's getting the right message across. Again, another promotion I will shout out in Yorkshire, I think would fit you guys perfectly. It's such a family-oriented shows. Planet Wrestle, you know, again, if you get a chance, I would put them on your list of promotions to check out at some point, you know, if you can, kind of thing. Very family friendly show, loads of kids there. It's just, yeah.
I'll definitely add that to our list. I'm pretty sure we follow them already. It's very, you know, it's a lot of hard work to reach out to people, respectively. Very difficult to reach out because it's like, how do you start the conversation without sounding like a robot? And it's like, you know, hi, like, we're just reaching out, kind of thing. And it's like, no, you need to start it as like a conversation, but also as like a business perspective. And like, we get that. For a lot of people, it's their livelihoods, and we get that. And it's like, some people may not trust us with their livelihoods, because if we mess up and they're part of what we're doing, it affects them as well. And we get that, and that's why I've been on countless Zoom calls with people constantly over like May to July to June. I was on countless Zoom calls, like, you know, I'm an open book. Ask me whatever you want, and they'd ask me some incredibly strange questions, but I'd answer truthfully and make sure they know that I'm being sincere. And even then, like, I think Taj tried to, someone tried to test me, because they asked me some stupid question. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, oh, do you remember the answer to the question I give you? And I was like, yeah. I said tuna sandwich. Because I was like, what's your favourite sandwiches? And I was like, I'm not being stupid. Like, I get what you're trying to test me out or something. And like I was being sincere, because I'm a sincere guy, and that's all I wanted to ever be represented as someone that you can trust, and someone that you can look at and think, and, you know, resemble them with a blue hoodie. And it seems to be working. So we've got to keep sure that we are in that presence constantly, in our blue hoodies, and people come up to us and goes, "Oh, you're the hot tag guy. How did you know? Must have been the blue hoodie." And it's just working well. Even at Rise, like people's like, "Oh, I've seen your blue hoodies on Instagram. It's cool what you're doing." It's like, thank you, I appreciate that. So, but like I say, talking to you guys at Toyal Wrestling, like I know we only spoke briefly, and you like with your family and stuff, but even just giving me the time to talk has been great. Wrestle Jeebus, got to shout out that man, got to shout out Fast Count. Like they've given me so much time just to talk to them and just to make sure that like they were very very insightful into the community and making sure that I was in the right position. And it was just so respecting how they came to us. And then I remember meeting up with them for the first time at NGW and just the handshake. We knew who they were because Ben is he loves a good branded t-shirt with the Fast Count stuff, and it's like Wrestling Jeebus, like such a fun guy to be around. That's all I ever wanted, was just to fit into a community, and this is a community that's welcomed me with such open arms, and even yourselves, like I can't wait to meet you again and talk to you again. And, we'll come back to this in a month's time or whenever the next time we meet up, and like thank you for the conversation. Hopefully it starts something, and that's what we're intending to. Our next show is Off the Page Pro Wrestling. I will shout them out as well. They were our first supporter. Amazing supporter. Ben, the guy who was the promoter for it, great guy. We're so excited to be there, and hopefully you might get like Rise, which was very unexpected. You might see one of us in the ring, give them a little shout out as well. So fingers crossed. It won't be me this time, where my WWE bum bag, but it'll be probably Ross. He gives a good promo. But yeah, and I will say this as well. I won't jinx anything. I won't say anything, but hopefully there will be hot tag presence at All In, and I won't mention any further than that. The Hooked On guys have been very nice, but that's all I'll say.
Dude, well, presence, whatever presence is there, obviously I know you'll go in just as a wrestling fan kind of thing as well. Obviously, enjoy the show. It's going to be huge. It is one of those moments where it's just, you're making memories, and it's just like, yeah, this is not a once in a lifetime thing, but it's huge. And it's a once a year thing that you want to look forward to. So enjoy it, dude. Enjoy it as a fan as well. Make sure you can switch off and just soak it in, kind of thing. That's what I'm saying.
I'm hoping I can switch off in this hoodie, but I've recently found we're in a box at Wembley, and hopefully, I've just found out that it's air conditioned, so I will be in the box. 100%. 100%.
I mean, hopefully, dude, if you make it, hopefully we'll see if you get a chance to come back to Tidal in September. We've got the next show on I want to say, I've been plugging it for freaking ages, and I've forgotten the date now. I told you this is what happens. When I try and remember something, it just goes away. I'm sure it's the 10th of October. I want to say the 10th of October. That is in my head. So, but yeah, the next Tidal show, hopefully. So if you guys make it, we'll come over. We'll do a Mega Powers handshake.
Isn't it it's one in September, isn't it? Is it Ace of Space or something?
September, sorry, yeah. So yeah.
Ace of Space, yeah. I'm sure it's like the 9th of October, but I'd have September. But yeah, we are looking to be there. Huddersfield is so complicated on a Sunday logistically. Like I say, we the first time when we was coming to Huddersfield, all my trains cancelled, and I was like, oh no. And then Taj was like, right, I'll hook you up with the people you need to speak to. And like I say, kayfabe protected. I was in a car with 3 great guys, and they were so welcoming. I was like, oh, so tell us a bit about yourself, and then they give me a ride home, and hopefully they are able to offer that service again if none of our team can go, because a lot of our team, like we have like Ross is in Scotland, he's making the trip to Warrington next week for Off the Page, which is we didn't ask him to do that. It's a 3-hour journey. It's a 3-hour journey for us as well. And then like Huddersfield's like a 2-hour journey on train or whatever it is. And then when they get cancelled, you're like, what do I do? I can't get there. And Taj came to the rescue, found us transport, and got some cool followers along the way, which is good. So all's well and ends well.
Amazing. just clocked the time, dude. So right, we'll wrap it up. Anything important that we haven't talked about that you want to get out there that you want people to know about? I've tried to cover everything, but you know, if there's anything else you want to go off on a tangent about, feel free.
There's not a lot that we haven't covered already, and I appreciate that you've been able to keep up with my tangent as well to ask follow-up questions. People tend to just like, well, you've answered that question and you've answered that question, but respectively, like the most important part right now is we are still building a foundation, and it's very important to us that we still keep the momentum, even though our supporters club has kind of slowed down a little bit, because we've targeted, or we've been able to secure the people that we wanted to secure, and even a few surprises along the way. It's very important that people can reach out to us and just say, I love what you're doing, let's get involved, let's work together, because that's what we want to do. We want to work together. We want to make sure our schedules are busy. We want to make sure we are doing what we can to get out there and get our support from you guys, and it's very difficult. So even if, because I won't lie, I suffer with high anxiety. I remember going in the ring at Rise and coming out and my heart was beating like crazy. And then the fast count guys were like, you did great, it was amazing, like fantastic, etc. Which was very supportive. But like times it takes a lot for me to go and meet people that I've never spoken to before, and like try and introduce the idea that we have and sell it to people. But it's like, you know, we're just trying to be nice, like whatever. Like people won't let us into the building if we didn't think we were trying to do something nice. Like take a card, follow us on social media, and just let us know what you think. That's all we ever ask, is that you just, you know, give us that feedback and give us. And people have fed us ideas constantly. Like, oh, have you ever thought about running an event? I'm like, dude, we can't even afford to get to London right now. Like, I can't afford to run an event. But that's one of our goals, is to be able to get an event that's, you know, open to all, accessible to all, that we can happily, you know, we can fund with support. So fingers crossed, we've got some cool things in the pipeline. I will say dependent on how the first year goes, because it's, like I say, it's going to be difficult to motivate ourselves if we can't see a benefit going into the community. So if we're putting all this work and then, you know, we're getting, I'm not saying we are, but we're getting a little less back, that it seems like we could do better just doing it ourselves, then we'll probably look at doing that instead, or either reconsidering the approach that we're giving. So a lot to think about in the new year. Please stay tuned and see what we have in store for this year. Keep an eye out at Wembley Stadium. Well, not inside Wembley Stadium, I'm not that optimistic, but keep an eye out around it. We'll be out there handing out flyers, handing out business cards. And I will say this, the difficult part is trying to sell people, so you don't realise how much 20 seconds at a time speaking to someone adds up. And we was at NGW and I was like handing out flyers, telling about all about the organisation, and then there was Nathan just going, yeah, give us a follow, and it's like, we got more followers from people looking at reading this instead of just listening to me speak. So I think we'll give that approach at Wembley when there's about 50,000 fans, and just be like, here's a leaflet, please. If you don't want to, if you don't throw it away and give it back to us, that's fine. You know, stop recycling. Obviously, we don't want to make. We want to make sure there's not a lot of like rubbish left over and these left over. But just, you know, make sure that people can just give us that time is very important. So whatever time you can donate, please donate. Drop us a message. Let us know you can get involved. And soon we'll hopefully be looking for active volunteers as well across the nation. So, not to quote the famous Raw theme tune, but across the nation, which I am going to go see Soil in November. I'm very excited to go see Soil and the Union Underground. Very excited to go see them. And Rock City of all places. So we'll get there.
Dude, no, you're gonna make me well, you can, I guess I'm Yorkshire based now, so anytime I speak to anybody who's from Nottingham or is going to Nottingham, I'm always kind of like, my heart just kind of like, take me with you. Not to besmirch Yorkshire, but you know, home is where the heart is, and that's Rock City. So, dude, yeah, as you sort of said, you've just made really good points. The key thing is time. So I said it before, like you sort of said, if people can't donate, share a post, comment on a post, like a post, you know, tag somebody in who might be interested, who might be able to donate, you know, just help spread the word. You know, that's as valuable as a donation kind of thing, because one person sharing it could lead to 2 other people donating. You know, that's what I don't think people realize sometimes, is it takes a second to share a post, just because it might not be up your street, or you might not be able to help, but 2 of your mates might, who won't see it unless you share it. So yeah, share posts.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. Just that is music to our ears. Just seeing in that perspective of like just one share could accumulate to 2 donations is just incredible. And to finalize, once again, please don't feel obligated to donate. Like I cannot remember a time when a wrestling figure was £28. Cannot remember that time until now. And you know, even the basic figures, which they're like £10 these days. I'm sure you'll find cheap ones in a if you go to like a garden centre or there's like a sale going outside someone's house, you'll see wrestling figures wherever you go, because people have no idea what they wear. People have no idea what's going on. Just grab them all, send them. Like even Ross in Scotland's already said that if anyone in Scotland wants to donate, he'll pay for the first 5 people's postage to get donations in. Like, and that's all we're trying to do, is just get donations in. Everything will be logged. Everything will be logistically organised. It's it's quite an operation that we're still looking into, but at the end of it all, it's going to be so worth it, and that's all I can say.
Awesome. Charity shops. Hit up the charity shops. Yeah, where can people obviously find you on Instagram? What's the handle?
Instagram at Hot Tag Foundation on Instagram, Hot Tag Foundation on Facebook, at Hot Tag Foundation on TikTok. Our email is open at info@hottagfoundation.co.uk, and our website as well. You can reach out on our website, check out our amazing supporters, check out our events page, check out whatever you want. All the information's on there, and we are all open books. Drop us a message, introduce yourself. We'll happily come back to you and give you whatever information that you need, whatever, at any time. So
I will put a link to the website in the description. So obviously, if you are interested, check out the episode description. Information will be in there. Obviously, hit them up. Just to get some more information if needs be, or find out. If you've got any questions. If I forgot to ask anything and you've got a question, I say, these guys are really open. Don't hesitate, drop them a message, drop them an email, ask the question, they'll get back to you. They'll put your mind at ease. It's all legit. But yeah, dude, thank you so much. That obviously is we'll catch you a little bit longer, mate, just to take the hoodie off. We're done. We're good.
So here we are. Look out for us.
There you go. There was a purpose for the hoodie off. I thought you just get too warm, dude. I thought you tapped out. I was just like, no, that's it. Hoodie's off.
It's a very warm night, and I'm ready to go to bed. But thank you so much for the time. It's been an absolute blast. We've had a week's worth of podcast, and it's good to finish on this one. I can feel my voice going, but it was so worth it.
Dude, thank you so much. And obviously, thank you everybody for watching. The generic stuff, as always, hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the stuff I always tell you to do. I was meant to be talking to Main Event Wrestling on Wednesday. We've had to reschedule due to them being busy. It happens. It's fine. COD subject to change. So instead, I will be uploading. If anybody's been paying attention on Twitter or Instagram, you'll have noticed Sash clips coming up nearly every day of him just talking about different people. I spoke to Sash last week, so I will be uploading the full episode for all your viewing pleasures, and you can just sit there for 50 minutes and listen to Sash badmouth everyone in British wrestling, as only Sash can. So, Dan, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon at a show, and everybody else, I'll see you again very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.